So, for those of you who were not at the snake show, my name's Ryan. I'll do this alligator show for you guys. Real quick before we start though, I do want to remind you that there's a bird show as the next one in the rotation located to my left down there in the corner. That will be starting at 11 o'clock if you guys do want to see that. I will not be doing the bird show. I find them terrifying. So you guys can
But not
else do it. Otherwise, all these animals that are in here, these are all reptiles. They belong to a group they're called the crocodilians, and you got 4 different types in the world. You got your alligators, the crocodiles, the caiman, and the gharial. Now we have 3 of the 4 types for you guys in here today. We will spend some time here real quick pointing out the differences on them so you guys can tell them all apart. First thing, like most of the animals in here, like this one right here, actually all of these right in here, up to not that one, they're all American alligators. So the alligators have more of the rectangular or U-shaped head, like these 2 do right here. Their noses are almost kind of flat in the front. So we've got some more alligators there. These are all crocodiles, we'll get to them in a minute. So we've got 2 different species of alligators in the world. You got the American alligators found here in the United States, and then the Chinese alligator found way on the other side of the world in the Yangtze River Valley in China. These 2 right here, these are American alligators as well. Same with those 2 right there. So the alligators have the U-shaped head. Crocodiles, they have the triangular or V-shaped head. Their nose kind of comes out to them, the point in the front. Now we have several species in here. These 2 right here are 2 of our Nile crocodiles. Their noises are all pointed. I don't like that bridge. Alright, this is a Nile crocodile there. There's another one right there. Those 2 sit back there. Those are 2 of our African slender-snouted crocodiles. They have a much longer, skinnier snout. The 3rd one of those is sitting in the water back there. So that's those 3. For you guys up front here, we got this one over here in the water. That's a Nile crocodile as well. And then same with that one sitting right there. So that's our, and then we do have one saltwater crocodile. She's sitting right here in the water. So she's right there. She's a saltwater crocodile, just like Maniac is, the really big one in the dome. If you guys haven't got a chance to check him out, you really should. If you miss seeing him, let us know. We've got a big problem, but really 16-foot big problem. All right, but that's our kind of breakdown here. We do have one caiman. So the caiman, they're a close relative of the alligators. They're found in southern Mexico, Central, and South America. He's actually hiding for right now. He's sitting here under the bridge. It looks very similar to an alligator, except he's got dark vertical stripes on the lower jaw. That's how you tell that one apart. If it does come out of the water later, I'll point it out again to you guys as well. So your differences in head shape is probably the easiest way to tell the alligators and crocodiles apart. Now there's going to be other ways to do that, of course, but really only those that herpetologists know or even care about. So the thing that you guys are probably wondering, or you do care about, is you want to know which one eats people, or which one's considered the true man-eater. Even more specifically, you probably want to know which one's going to grab me today, so you know which one to cheer for. It's not funny, guys. Now these guys, they are all carnivorous animals. They do eat meat. They can't even be cannibalistic and eat each other. So they really don't care if they grab a hold of us or not. For them, it's just more a matter of opportunity, which does present itself a lot more frequently in the jungles and outback. Now over in Africa, though, where you do find the Nile crocodiles, you're also going to find people going down to rivers and streams to get their water and wash their clothes. So that does provide those crocodiles a regular opportunity to prey on people. It has been claimed that more people are killed and eaten each year in Africa by Nile crocodiles than all the other animals on that continent combined. So you could say the Nile crocodile is the true man-eater. Now we do have alligators and crocodiles here in the United States in the southeastern region, but you don't really hear of us getting bothered by them because we don't really give them the opportunity to do so. One last difference has nothing to do with appearance, is your alligators are semi-tropical, so they live where it does cool off during the winter months. Your crocodiles, on the other hand, are found on the parts of the world where it is warm all year long, so they're active and feeding throughout the year. Now you guys probably came out here to Reptile Gardens today. You either knew about it ahead of time, or when you got here you found out we had an alligator show, right? You got really excited. You came out here, you sat down in the bleachers, you saw all these animals in here. There's about 42 of them. So there's a lot. You guys were probably waiting to even just see me step out that door right there and have to take off running with every single one of them chasing after me, right? Because that would have been really cool. Instead, I walk out here, you get this. I am much happier with this. Since these guys are cold-blooded, they don't create nervous energy. They don't really just have energy to waste. So if these animals have nothing to do, that's exactly what they're going to do, is nothing. And as you can tell, they're very good at it. Do you guys actually know what you're called if you're paid to do nothing? A manager. I'm just kidding. Managers right here are great. These guys are not moving around a whole lot. You probably think they're fake. Some people think they're statues. Some people think they're dead. We even had a lady ask us how many times we inflate the ones in the water. No, we do not inflate our alligators. I can assure you of that. Now, these aren't just like lions or tigers. These animals are considered carnivorous, and that means they do depend on what they can catch in order to survive. Your lions and tigers, though, they are warm-blooded. That gives them the ability to stalk their prey and the endurance to even run it down. Crocodilians, they don't have the endurance to stalk their prey. And as far as them actually running down their prey is concerned, one look at any one of them is going to tell you they're not exactly built for running. They have very large heads, bodies, and tails, and short, kind of stubby, weaker legs. This doesn't mean they can't run, though. You see, about a 5 to 6 foot alligator can outrun a person a short distance, but most of the animals they do prey on are a lot faster than humans, so they don't really like to try. So Buster, this is Buster. You guys might be wondering what happened to his foot. He doesn't have a foot anymore. He got bit off a couple years ago. Another alligator missed his chicken, grabbed that guy's foot instead, went ahead and rolled and kind of took it off. It's a very common injury in the wild. It doesn't bother him at all, especially when you guys do see when we do the feeding part later. He's very active, so he doesn't let that get him down, but that is what happened to his foot there. You can see them in the wild. They've been missing chunks of their tail. I've seen pictures of one missing half of their lower jaw. So these guys, they're very sturdy animals, but that is what happened to Buster here. We will get him some chicken later. That's the fun part, is the feeding part, because that's when they all chase me. Alright, so with this part though also, these guys, for hunting wise, they're not built for running down their prey, and so they wait for it to come to them. They're going to sit here in the water like these ones are right now, wait for something and someone to walk down to the river. They're going to go ahead, sink under the water, swim over, they're going to strike out. They'll grab a hold of whatever part of the animal they can. If it's small enough, they're just going to go ahead and swallow it whole. If the animal's too large, they'll grab it, drag it to the bottom of the river, they'll drown it, and then they can dismember it later at their leisure. Now they're just as effective at hunting on land as well. So they'll lay here like this crocodile is right now, wait for something or someone to walk right next to it, and then just swing to the side and grab it. Swing to the side and grab it. So fast that you guys can't even see it. Well, they are comparatively slow at running though. Amazingly quick at striking, and perhaps we can show you some of that speed, and while we're at it, we will show you some of the handling techniques or that alligator wrestling, because that's what you guys want to see, right? Yeah, right? Real quick question before we do that. Raise your hand if you came out here hoping to see somebody get bit today. Alright, we have several volunteers for the feeding portion. That's fantastic. Now we're going to hope it doesn't happen, but there's a real possibility when we do the show. We do take it very seriously, but we do try to have fun with it at the same time. And before we do the handling, you've probably heard you can hold the mouth shut on a very large alligator using a not so strong pair of hands. That's because they have relatively weak muscles to open their jaws, but amazingly strong ones to close them. We're still never going to go so far as to say the world's largest alligator's mouth shut. Even with like Albert right here, he's the biggest alligator in here. There is no way my hands are going to fit around his jaws. But we can say the average person does have sufficient strength in their hands to overpower the muscles that open the jaws, and say like a 5, 6, maybe even a 7-foot alligator. The problem at that point, they're probably not going to let you just walk over to them, reach down, grab their mouth, and hold it shut. This one might let you do that. Now, they're typically going to try to bite your hand off, twist, get up, walk off, really do anything they can to get away. Now, there are some techniques for handling alligators, which we will go ahead and demonstrate for you guys. So, first thing we do need is, of course, an alligator. Do you guys want a big, nice one or a small, mean one? Mean one, great. That's different. So you're probably this is gonna be fun. All right, so we got a small, mean one here for you guys. Now when we're doing this, especially with this many animals in the water, you don't want to just stick your hand in there, try to grab one. You might stick your hand in another animal's mouth. That would not end too well. So, we're going to just poke around in here. I think I know which one I want. Are you going to stay there, Buster? He's a good boy, aren't you? Aren't you a good boy? Alright, so, that's him. Alright, we'll grab this guy right here. Come here. Alright. You guys are all real quiet, like something bad's about to happen. Alright. Okay. So, we've got our volunteer.
Wrestle a gator.
First thing we're going to do, we're going to take our alligator for a walk. Could you imagine that walking down your neighborhood sidewalk? Wouldn't that be great? So the next thing we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to jump on their back. Now when we do that, we're not trying to land hard on it. We're trying to land with my knees on either side of the body, and hands should end up on the neck. That is designated as the safety area. It's very important that I don't overshoot that area or I will get bit, and a lot of you will already be amused by that. So, also we're really neat with these animals because of the position of their eyes on the top of their skull. They cannot see anything directly behind them or in front of them. So as long as his head's nice and straight, it really shouldn't see me coming. If the head's tilted to the side and all, it's going to meet me halfway, give me a nice kiss on the cheek. It's going to be great. I also need you guys to let me know if anything sneaks up behind me. Okay, that'd be great. Alright, head's nice and straight. Those guys are all holding still. Okay, so you guys have your cameras waiting. That's just great. We will need this for the insurance. Excuse you? Sit down again. Alright, so head's nice and straight. We're going to give this guy a nice tug here. This goes according to plan. I will end up on the alligator's back. If it doesn't, he's going to end up on mine. So, alright. Okay. So, okay. Now, first thing we do is give the alligator a chance to catch his breath. He's really tired. Okay, it's hot out here. Please don't. Please don't. Please stop. Do what? Okay, first thing. Okay, you can go that way. Now, we're sitting on the alligator. Okay. Alright, cover up his eyes. See, right? Sorry, it doesn't work on kids. But, so these guys, we go ahead, we sit on our back. We put our knees in the alligator's armpits. We turn our feet inward behind their hind legs. This is supposed to help restrict their movement. I think I was told a lie. Next thing is we can go ahead and we can cover up the alligator's eyes. Now doing that does seem to help relax them a little bit. Sometimes. I'm not sure exactly why. There are some theories that covering up their eyes just kind of calms them down, makes them want to go to sleep. It might even make them think they're dead. So then I wondered what happens if you cover up just one eye. Are they half dead? No, they are very angry. So, these animals do have some really neat features to them though. So they're not... Really? You guys aren't going to say anything? Really? I don't know what kind of crowd this is. Sit. Please. Thank you. Perfect. Okay. Nostrils on the front act like valves. They can close them when they submerge underwater. They also have ears situated right behind each eye. They have little flaps on them as well. Then with the eyes being on the top of the skull, that is great for hunting. It allows them to hide their entire body under the water with just their eyes poking up. It's a very vulnerable position though. They could easily get injured in a fight with another alligator or even with their prey. So those eyes are retractable. They can pull them down into their skull where they're protected by a very bony ridge. Now the next thing is when they do open their eyes, crocodilians have a secondary eyelid. It's called the nictitating membrane. It acts like built-in diving goggles. Does allow these guys to go ahead and see underwater, which is great because they're considered amphibious reptiles. It's not your amphibians like your frogs, toads, and your salamanders. It just means these guys do spend a lot of their time in water as well as on land. They can hold their breath for up to several hours. How long they hold their breath is determined. How warm or cold they are, how active they're being, will determine how quickly they run out of oxygen. They're running out a lot slower than I am. Okay. I know, right? That one's not in. I know. It's gonna get really exciting here pretty quick. That's not funny. It's maybe exciting for you guys. Okay, so the last thing, or we do like, we're doing it right now. If you ever see them sitting with their mouths open, what they are doing is regulating their body temperature. So these guys have lots of blood vessels inside their mouth and their tongue. They can sit there, face the sun in the morning, kind of helps them warm up. They can also sit in the shade. You guys gotta pick one, there's too many. Sit. Yep, it's gonna cut off my exit. Great. I hate my job. No, I love this job, it's great. Now these guys also, we're gonna see if this one will go ahead and open its mouth. I feel like now you guys are just saying it to see what happens. You guys just want to watch me panic and freak out. Okay, so these guys do have a really cool feature. You cannot see down their throat. So that's because the back of their tongue, it acts like a valve. It allows them to open their mouth underwater without inhaling much water. The only way you're going to see down an alligator's throat is if you ever catch them yawning or if you happen to be on the way down it. Which could happen here very shortly. Next thing we're going to show you real fast is how to hold their mouth shut. And to do that, you can't just reach around the side. They're going to see your hand coming. They're going to swing to the side. It's like they're moving in a line. Just keep you blocked off. No. Buster, no. Stare down. No. I don't like that look. I'm not chicken. We'll get you something in a minute. Just chill. Hang out. Don't do anything. Relax. Okay, real quick, we're going to shut this one's mouth here. So you force it shut, slide your hands forward, then rock back with his head a little bit. Holding their head back just stops him from backing out from under us. Because if he did do that, he'd sit on my back and show you guys how to hold my mouth shut. Now, it is also at this time that we could have somebody else who works here come right around in the front and go ahead and tape it shut. That way we're not worried about getting bit while we're moving them, while we're looking at them if they have an injury or anything like that. So it is a great trust exercise out here. It's a wonderful team building activity, taping an alligator's mouth shut. Now there's how you hold your mouth shut. If you guys get in the mood, you want to do it yourself. Now you all know how. Next most important part of alligator wrestling, knowing how to get off and win. Win is now. How you just cover up their eyes, look behind you, beside you, make sure his buddies aren't sneaking up. Then just push down, jump off, and run away screaming. All right. So let's give him a round of applause. He did a good job. Okay, so now guys come to my favorite part of the show, and that's the feeding portion. So to start off, you get a real close look at all these sharp pointy teeth in here. They're conical in shape, they're round and pointed, not necessarily built for biting up large chunks of food. So if an animal is too large to go ahead and swallow whole, they're going to grab a hold of it, shake it violently back and forth to tear it into smaller pieces. If there are other equally hungry alligators or crocodiles in that same area, they will grab that creature as well, spin in the water, doing that death roll in order to take off more manageable sized pieces. Now, we do feed these guys chicken. These are going to be chicken legs just like you'd buy at the grocery store. The other issue with this show is that if we came out here and threw down a big piece of food for them to tear apart on their own, it would not be too long before you do start to see a lot more injuries like Buster's up there, because these guys get very careless when they're fed. So we try to feed them more manageable bite-sized pieces to prevent that as much as possible. The last issue with this show is that it happens 5 times a day. It's basically the same thing all the time. It's not too long before these animals start to catch on to where that food comes from. And not long after that, I might actually become the food. And since we don't want that, we've actually trained these guys to associate a bucket as a visual signal. Me hitting the bucket acts like a sound signal, kind of like a dinner bell. So, let's go ahead and see what's going to happen. You can slow down now. Hi, Buster. Hi, Buster. No. Oh, Buster. That's not okay. That's not okay. Okay. So, here, you want a piece of chicken? Open up. There you go. Okay, so with their eyes being on the top of their skull, they cannot see anything directly above them, or they can see directly above them. They just can't see to the sides or anything below their head. So they're going to see that meat fly through the air. They're going to hear it hit the ground, feel the ground on that lower jaw, and go ahead and roll their heads to the side. Now, their heads are far too long. Their necks are too short to reach straight down, pick it up. They're also going to notice when they pick out that piece of food, because it is small enough, they make a chewing motion. The chewing for them is just like, it's not like you and I do. For these guys, it's simply them moving that food to the back of their mouth so it's easier for them to swallow. You going to catch it? Almost. You going to try one more time? All right. There you go. All right, that little guys can come and get that. You're going to get that quickly. Okay. So the other thing, when we're feeding the ones in the water, we're going to go over here. We're going to try this. See how it works. Okay. Hate this job. Okay, so we're going to feed some of them in the water. Now because that tongue that we talked about earlier acting like a valve, they can't swallow it. Hey, you two, settle down. Below the surface, they're going to go down. Eventually find that piece of chicken. You're coming in way too hot there. Take that. Wrong white meat you were going for. So, they're going to have to go down, bring it back up. They're going to make that chewing motion once again. Now, we do have one last piece of chicken. You are going to notice that we do not feed every single one of these animals at every show. That's because since they're large, they're cold-blooded, they are reptiles, very slow metabolism. They don't all get hungry at the same time. It's not really a big deal for them to wait a couple hours for the next show, a few days, weeks, or even months. Now there's a group of Nile crocodiles like this guy right here, found over in Africa, that survives on one substantial meal a year. Nothing? That's with the annual wildebeest migration that passes through. So these guys really have no problem waiting for the next show in a couple hours. You already got one. Leave me alone. There's one down in the bottom of the water. Okay, we'll see if we can feed this all our crocodile. She's kind of fun. What is alligator? You want a piece of chicken alligator? You already got one. Come here. Alright, one more time. Open up. Oh, I'm sorry, bad throw. No, that's not yours. Okay, now we gotta get this piece back. Hi, Albert. Oh, he's a good boy. And you can leave me alone now. Okay. Nope, this is not your piece. Hey. Nope, I need that piece of chicken. No. Here, Albert, you take that piece. Okay, there, Albert got a piece instead. So, these guys, they don't get fed a lot. They look very well fed, if you ask me. But we do this, the ones in the dome, like Maniac and stuff, those guys don't get fed as frequently either. Those ones in the dome get fed about once a month. So they're not eating nearly as frequently as even these guys are out here, but they do get a lot larger food item per feeding. I hate this job. Okay. No, it's great. Okay, so now that we're done with the feeding part, I do have one more surprise for you guys. I'm going to run in back, wash my hands real quick. I will be right back out, so don't go anywhere.
I think he's going to go get the little gator.
Okay, so.
Hunter, where are you going?
Oh, I missed all you guys too. Oh, this little guy. This little guy right here. This is a 2-year-old American alligator named Fluffy.
Fluffy.
Now, Fluffy is just like these alligators right here, a lot younger, smaller, and much more manageable in size. When these animals are born, they're only about 6 to 8 inches in length. The mother will even protect the young for the first couple years. Now, it's possible that she has to protect this year's young from the ones that hatched out last year, because they will come back and try to eat their siblings. So if you have a brother or sister out there, be very thankful they're not trying to eat you. But these guys still have very sharp teeth. They feed on things like fish, frogs, insects, really anything they can get a hold of. So to help prevent them from grabbing little fingers, I'm going to run in the back real quick, tape his mouth shut, and then I'll meet you on the other side of the glass if you want to go ahead and pet him. You can take pictures, ask questions. Otherwise, that is the end of this show. The next show is that bird show to my left at 11 o'clock.
All right, come here,
Thank you guys for coming out today, and I hope you enjoyed the show.
He's going to bring it around. But wait, he's got to bring it around. He's going to bring it down here so you can pet it. What? Okay, that's fine. hold on. Get that a minute. Okay, Dad's gonna get his balance. Don't want me to fall, dude. All right, well, that was the gator show. Oh, Hunter, here he comes. Here, we'll come right over here. He's over there. So, hold on, Hunter. Isn't that cool, Hunter?
Yeah. Where's the little alligator?
He's up here. This is the line. Come on.
I don't see him.
Well, because of all these people, you can't see him, but he's up at the front of the line.
I can't see.
Hunter, he'll be way up there.
Clara, no, stay here. This is the line. Clara, stay here.
That water smells horrible.
Huh?
That water smells horrible. Good thing you guys can't smell what we're smelling. This water smells horrible.
Why is the water that yellow?
Because it's like swamp water.
Oh.
Just like you would find in the swamps where they live.
But I saw green water under the wood when we were fishing. I kind of saw green water.
Hey, you come look here, you'd always be in shape. Run from the gators.
Running from the gators. I'll take a pass.
We're getting closer, I can see them.
You want to take your picture while you can. You're going to the snake show next?
Adeline, you want to stay over here?
Am I talking about little
Is
girl?
that a big gator?
It does.
Is that a big gator?
I think that's the one I saw the other day.
Cool, huh, Addie? Addie, can you smile? Go stand by the window. Jade, you want to go stand by Jade and Clara, look at me. Jade and Addie.
Oh, get out of the room.
Yeah,
They're
we
trying
do.
to take a picture.
They cut it in line.
No.
No, they're just taking a picture in front of the gators.
Are you scared? Adeline.
I think it's funny that he does snake shows and gator shows, but birds terrify him. And I guess I could see it because birds are a lot quicker.
Peck your eyes.
Hunter,
What?
look. Up here. Up here.
Bye. Oh, I want the alligators to eat it. Alligators eat it.
Well, if it gets close to the water, it very well might.
Mouth is closed. Why is it? And why is it? They keep the mouth shut. Because they can't bite you. Hey, look, he bites me.
Can you look at mommy and smile?
Hello. Hello there.
Is that one looking at you? Huh? Is that one looking at you?
Oh, look, Hunter, you can see the gator now.
Oh, here it is. Come take a picture. Oh, Adeline,
Hold on, Hunter.
stop and wait your turn.
Hi.
You gonna pet him?
Hunter, hold on.
Cool. That's because you're tickling him.
Hunter, do you remember what his name was?
Fluffy.
That's right.
Yeah, well, he's definitely Barbara Fluffy.
You should go check it out. They got some cool raptors, some owls and vultures and raptors. They don't do the parrots and the chickens and stuff anymore. They do a lot more raptors. So they're like hawks, the falcons.
But actually, I don't really want to go there because I really want to get a toy.
You really want to get a toy?
Yeah.
Or if you go there and then get a toy.
But we're gonna have to go see the big turtles.
The big tortoises still? Yeah, I don't think they're going anywhere. They'll be here the next 60, 70 years, so they're still pretty young. One of them's pretty
Hey,
old.
look, you're on camera, bud.
But when are we gonna get a duplicate of it?
All right, Hunter.
Duplicate of this guy?
Yeah.
We've got 6 of these right now. They take turns.
How old are you?
Come on.
He's only 2.
Oh my goodness. Not younger.
All right, so that was the gator show.